Welcome to week 4. Data mining, process methods, and algorithms. So what is our homework going to look like? So if we take a look at week 4, we're going to have our typical defined data mining as our goals, understand the objectives and benefits of data mining, and understand the privacy issues, pitfalls, and myths of data mining. So your homework assignment, discussion questions 1 through 5. Remember, it's got to be an APA, cover sheets, at least 2 references. Submit that under week 4. You also have your discussion question. What are the privacy issues with data mining? And don't forget, we want your initial response should be turned in by Wednesday. This allows your classmates to respond. You do have till Sunday. You should be post to at least 2 classmates. So let's take a look. Our learning objectives define data mining as an enabling technology for business analytics, understand the objective benefits of data mining, become familiar with a wide range of applications of data mining, learn to standardize data mining processes, learn different methods and algorithms of data mining, and be aware of existing data mining software tools. And the last is the privacy issues. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's take a look at our vignette, our opening vignette, what was going on with that. Miami-Dade Police Department is using predictive analytics to foresee and fight crime. So what their problem was, policing the Palmer team have seen the impact of growing population, shifting demographics, and changing economics on the streets as they patrol. So we needed to, so the police department had to look at what were they doing, what were their detectives doing in order to fight the crime that was happening. Also thinking of cold cases, what was going on with that. So this is what they did. The big picture starts out small, taking shape within the robbery unit, demonstrated how big ideas came from data from the small places. So the data mining, we were able to collect all this data through artificial intelligence, machine learning, information visualization, database management, and statistics. They were able to review all this data that made sense, and they were able to pinpoint where the crime was going to occur. They were able to put more people in that particular area to help to make the streets safer. So the idea was that by using statistics, they were able to determine what crimes were going to happen, when they were going to happen. They probably looked at it. Hey, this is when most of our crimes happen. This is the area that it happens in. So by using data, they were able to make the streets safer. So that was their goal and what they wanted to learn about. So data miner applications. So as we look at data mining, and we've been mentioning throughout the class, data is everywhere. You generate data every time you use your phone, every time you're on your computer, every time you drive. If you're using Google Maps, they're tracking where you're going. They're determining if you get a message that says, hey, traffic is slowing down. Well, that's Google reporting this. So they understand what's happening with the data. So how are companies using it? I already mentioned how Amazon uses data better than anybody in the world. They predict what you're going to need before you even need it. How do they do it? They look at your customers. They know who you are. They know your age, everything about you. And they have millions of pieces of data, hundreds of thousands of people just like you who are buying the same stuff. And they're able to predict what you're going to buy next. Same with loyalty cards at grocery stores. They can predict, hey, this is what you bought. You should be running out about now. If you bought a month's supply of laundry detergent, you'll get a coupon for laundry detergent. So they're using it to predict what you're going to be buying going forward. That's what data mining is about. Trying to figure out those nuggets of information that no one else does so that we can make what's going on and make it much better for how we're going to treat everything. So how it works, it's going to take the data from the outside, from within or out, or from a third-party organization, and start analyzing it. What trends do we see? How are we going to figure out what's going on? So that's what we're going to be looking at. What our data warehouses look like. So we want to take a look at this. Let's take a look. Just finding it in my spot where I want to do. So let's get back to our applications clustering. So, what is our data mining applications? Customer relationship, CRM. This is one of the biggest ones. Without customers, we have no business. So how do we keep our customers happy? How do we make sure that they have the experience that they want? Well, we collect data on. We have their frequent flyer, miles, or their loyalty cards or programs. But do we follow them? Do we know that when a customer comes into our store, this is what they want? When I was a waiter, I worked at a country club many, many years ago, and we knew which customers wanted when they came in. They wanted a certain drink. We'd make sure when they sat at their table, the drinks were brought there immediately. This is what customer service is about. So how do we get this in today's environment? Amazon, they have recommendations. They know what you're buying. Walmart's getting into it. So these understanding what that customer relationship is becomes super important. Where does it come from? The data that we put in, the information that you give them. And this is what it is. Identify most likely responses, buyers of new products and services, understand the root cause of the customer attrition to improve customer retention, discover time variation associated between products, services to maximize customer value, identify for the most profitable customer. So this is what we want to do. So how does banking get involved? Oh, banking, right? Most people do online banking nowadays, but data mining can help banks with the following. Automate the loan process. So instead of you're using a bank, they know how much money you have in your accounts. They can figure out if you're going to need money, what's the probability of you defaulting. Detect fraudulent credit cards on your online banking transactions. I know I have this. I travel a lot, and I go to a lot of motorcycle shows, and they have vendors from around the country. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was at a vendor. I bought something, went to another vendor. First vendor was out of Indiana. Next vendor was out of Florida. Third vendor was out of Texas. And my credit card was declined. And so what did the bank do? They said, hey, you can't usually be buying all these things in this time frame. They put my credit card, so I called them up and said, no, I'm at a trade show. And they opened up my credit card. But that's what I want. I want banking to use the data to detect fraud, to stop me from getting that. So I was fine with that. What other things are we looking at? Value. What things are you looking for? And the last thing, optimizing the cash return, forecasting that cash flow. ATMs, where's the data? Do they have the data where we need it? So this is how the banking industry is going to use it. The fraud is a huge thing that can help us. Retail. I know I've spoken a lot about that through Amazon, but how is it going to be used there? Particularly accurate the sales volume. So if I have a store and I'm selling sandwiches, I have to make sure I have enough bread. If I don't have enough bread, I'm going to not be able to sell sandwiches. I won't make money. So by understanding data, I can take what days are busy. If I have leftover bread, I lose money. The idea is to have the exact amount at the end of the day. And that's using data. How many people come in based on this day versus the next day? What time do they come in? What's the weather looking at? And so by using all this data, I can predict how much stuff I need to order each week. Identify the sales relationship between different products and improve the store layout. Forecast consumption, as I just talked about. Discover interest patterns. If you go to the grocery store, where's the milk? Furthest away from the entry, so you have to walk through the entire store. These are some of the things, and hopefully you'll pick up stuff on the way in and out. How do we automate it? If we put these RFID tags on our products, well, we can track where they are. We track, what's going on, how many things, so I don't have to keep inventory. So some of the different things. Manufacturing can use data mining to predict machinery failures before they occur, identify anomalies, discover novel patterns. So in manufacturing, these are used all the time. Brokerage houses. We talked about the stock market already. What's the stock market going to do tomorrow? Well, no one can really predict it, but based on past history, and this is what they talk about every day if you watch any of the stockbroker channels. Well, last time the market was doing this, the interest rates were this, sales was this. They can predict if it's going to go up or down. And it's only a prediction. It's not accurate, but it tells you, hey, this is most likely going to happen. Forecast the range and direction of stock fluctuation. Assesses the effect of a particular issue on events. Right now in the current stock market, last week it was down 1,000 points, almost 2 days in a row. I think one was like 700, next day was 1,000. And why? There was uncertainty in the world. The stock market doesn't like that. So we can predict what's going to happen. Insurance companies use it to make a claim on the amount of property, medical coverage. Let's face it, the older you get, the more medical issues you have. So as you get older, your insurance goes up. Driving, if you drive an automobile and you drive within 30 miles, you get a discounted rate versus someone who drives 100 miles. Why? What's the likelihood of you getting in an accident traveling that far, 100 miles a day versus traveling 30 miles a day? So insurance companies use it to predict which customers are more likely to get into an accident, which customers are going to buy new vehicles, identify and prevent incorrect claims. Hey, this isn't right that you put this in. So this allows us to have some different things that's going on. Insurance companies. That's what I just covered. I'm sorry. Computer and hardware, so software. Predict disk drive failures. Hey, everything is mechanical. It's going to fail at one particular point. You can predict when it is. What's the mean time between failures? Identify the filter unwanted web content. Detect and prevent computer network security breaches. Identify potential unsecure software products. Again, data mining. We can look at how many things are happening. Government and defense. The government is under attack 24/7 by third world countries that are trying to hack into our system. They're constantly looking at threats. How can we look at it? I can tell you, I worked for the shipping company. We'd have to send our manifests to them, every bit of this. They'd go through it. They'd have millions of pieces of code looking for trends in the shipping containers. Does the shipping weight, if they said there's feathers in it, and is that how much the container weighs versus if there's lead bricks? They're looking at anomalies. And that's what data mining is. And this is what the government is doing on a daily basis, trying to predict what's coming in the country, how do we prevent attacks from happening, what's the likelihood of getting an attack, what strategies can we use. So the government has been using data mining for decades now, trying to track what's actually in the containers on the ships coming across the country, the waters. So it helps us understand. Travel industry, they've gotten into it in the last couple of years, heavy duty, as the seats on the planes sell out, prices go up. Hotels, same thing. If it's getting close to the day of a weekend and there's not a lot of sale or rooms are sold, they'll start lowering the price. If the rooms are selling out, they'll raise the price. It's active pricing. This way they can maximize their profit. Again, is it annoying? Sometimes it's better to book in advance. Sometimes it's not. You might get a cheaper rate if you wait right until the end. Sometimes there might not be something available. They could be sold out. It's a game, but this is what the travel industry is doing. Healthcare, same type of thing. What's the likelihood of you getting sick? What's your health insurance? It goes a lot by age. So if you're younger, the chance of you having major issues is slim. As you get older, the risk increases. So your insurance costs go up. They're figuring out, hey, based on this data, this is what's going to happen. Same with medicine if we want to look at it. The entertainment industry, we can look at that also. What's happening in that? Netflix, how many viewers? Amazon Prime, they can predict how many people, what shows are you watching, how much do you like it. If you like a show, they'll keep it going. They know if you've started watching it and you shut it off in the first 10 minutes, the first hour, you go through the entire series. They know everything that they, on who is in that room. So entertainment industry is using it nonstop. Sports is another great thing to look at. How is sports changing with data mining, right? If you ever seen the, I can't, total blank on the movie, the the baseball movie, where they use data analytics to determine who's the who to put in the players. The LA, I think it was an LA team who it was about. Billy Beane, I think, was the coach at the time. But they use statistics. It was a last place team, Oakland A's. That's who it was. It was the Oakland A's, and they lost a star player. But they used statistics to determine, hey, let's use this, getting on base, hits. They redid their whole roster. They made it to the playoffs. They did not win the World Series. But the following year, Boston Red Sox used the same concept, and they won the World Series based off of statistics. So this is used in every industry that we look at, understanding what the data says on what we want to look at. And this is how it's changed everything that we do, statistics. And understand what data mining is. It's a data mining process. The systematic of carrying out data mining projects, a general process, is usually followed. Based on best practices, data mining research and practitioners have proposed several process workflows or simple step-by-step approaches. One of the simple ones is Cross-Industry Standard Process for Data Mining, or CRISP-DM. Started in the mid-1990s by the European Consortium. And basically what it's doing, and it shows you have all your data. You start with data. What is the business understanding? You move to data understanding, to data preparation, to model building, testing, evaluation, go back before it's deployed. So this allows you to grasp what's going on with the data, and you follow this process. This way it's repeatable, so you're not just guessing. Oh, sorry. Get back up. So business understanding, what's going on with the business, data understanding, data mining, looking for those hidden nuggets as we start looking at it. Testing, evaluation, and then deployment is the last section. Another data mining process is SEMA. And this was introduced by SAS, and it stands for Sample, Explore, Modify, Model, and Assess. That's the chart on the right. So again, what does this indicate? It helps us to understand what's going on that we need to look at, right? Sample the data, generate the data, explore, which means visualization, modify, making the changes, model, using it, and assess. And then it keeps reporting, repeating itself so you get it down perfectly. Some commonly use the term knowledge discovery in a database. Again, it's trying to figure out what's in our data. What are we trying to look for? The most widely one that's used the most is the CRISP-DMM, my own SEMA, KDD. These are some of the more widely accepted ones that are out there. Some data mining methods. Various methods are available for performing data mining studies, including classification, regression, clustering, and associating. Most data mining software tools employ more than one technique. Each one of these methods. A classification. Classification is the most frequently used in data mining in the real world. Basically, it's similar to machine learning, and where we group everything together. For example, we could use a classification, predict if it's sunny or rainy, what's the weather like. We kind of group in, and we can say it's going to fall into this today and this tomorrow. So this way, it's simple that we can figure out what's going on. I'm just looking speed. So here we can actually look at true observed and predictive classes. This is the diagram up in the top right corner. We can have true positive count, false negative count, false positive count, or true negative count. It just allows us to see what's going on. Here's the accuracy that we can put in for what we want to look at. Let's take a look at decision trees. Some different techniques. Decision tree. Decision tree analysis, a machine learning technique, is arguably the most popular classification technique in data mining, and a detailed description techniques in the following section. Statistical analysis, statistical techniques were the primary classification algorithm for many years until the emergence of machine learning. Statistical classification includes logical regression and discrimination analysis, neural networks. These are the most common machine learning techniques that can be used for classification type problems. Case-based reasoning. This approach uses historical cases to recognize commonalities to assign new case into the most probable category. Bayesian classifiers. This approach uses the probability theory to build classification models based on past occurrences that are capable of placing a new instance into the most probable class. Genetic algorithms. This is use of the analogy of natural evolution to build direct and rough sets. This takes into account partial membership of the class of what we want to do. Decision trees. And this is just going to break everything down. Some software tools. IBM SAS is probably SPSS. It's probably the one of the most widely used because of its power. It's been around for decades, and it really helps to understand what's going on. It plays really nice with SAS, which is another great tool. IBM Watson Analytics, another tool that is used. Like I said, these are some of the big names that are out there. Watson's been around for years doing analytics that allows us to have it. One of the ones which I don't, let's see. We have Dell, SAS, PolyAnalytics, CART. And as you can see, these are all the different areas in your book and here. Oracle. And these are, which one works best for you, depending on what the partnership you have with your company, which one's going to use it. They all provide a source of ways that you can do analytics based on your data. They all have pluses and minuses. Like I said, a lot of them are big companies. And having a basic understanding of programs is important. R, you can do a lot with the program R. Python, SQL, Excel. Excel is a great way for you to get into using analytics. It doesn't cost that much. You have it on your PCs, but you can look at some of the different data that's available. And they're all going to offer some type of analysis that's going to help you do what you want to do. Let's see. Different ones collect different data. You know, as we look at it, movies collect information about what's going on. Some myths and blunders, right? Use a variety of dating methods, including neural network, tree design, developed and predicted models. The data from 1998 to 2005 were used as training to build prediction models for 2006. So by understanding what we have, myth, data mining provides instant crystal ball predictions. No, it doesn't. Data mining is a multi-step process that requires deliberate, proactive design of use. Another myth, data mining is not yet viable for mainstream businesses. The current state is the art is ready for almost businesses. And now we have AWS, Amazon's web services, and it's about data mining. So you can actually hire third party. This is what they do now. Data mining requires a separate dedicated database, not because of the advances in database technology. It's not necessarily the case. Yes, in the past you'd have to bring everything off to a data warehouse, as we discussed, so it didn't slow down the database. With the advancements in databases, this is no longer true. Only with those in advanced degrees can do data mining. Again, that used to be the case, but newer web-based services such as AWS, Power BI, Tableau, anyone can do it, and that's the beauty of it. And data mining is only for large firms. Again, that used to be the case. Today, that's no longer the case. Tableau and Power BI have free versions that you can literally just download and start looking at them. So you just want to take a look at, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Anyone can do it at any particular time that we want to look at. So we're able to do this without much effort. All right, so what are our highlights? Data mining is a process of discovering new knowledge from databases. Data mining can use simple flat files. There's many alternatives. Data mining is an interaction that has many disciplines. It's an application that can be run virtually anywhere. Governments use it, healthcare, any industry, it does not matter. Several data mining processes have been that are in place: CRISP-DM, SEMA, KDD. CRISP-DM provides a systematic and orderly way to conduct data mining processes. Data miner, it can be used anywhere. And again, all the different terms that are available and what we're doing for our homework this week. Chapter 4, discussion question 1 through 5. Exercise 1, your discussion question, data mining. Make sure you have your discussion question is by Wednesday. This allows your other classmates to respond. We have a small class, so it's really important that you do post some information up there so you're able to reply. So please do your best to get that posted as soon as you can. Thank you. See you next week.